on today's section, we are going to be talking about typography. And so I want to welcome you all again, people of designs. I call you guys spots. And again, myself, if you have not met me before, my name is Ibrahim. They call me Green. All right. Recap on our last learning outcome. This was for our previous class. We spoke about graphics design, and we spoke about how crucial graphics design has been over the years in terms of sharing information as a communication tool. Graphics design has been a way to share information and basically get your word out to people. And then we mentioned a concept and principle of design. The short code is CARP. Each of those letters has their individual meaning, right? The C that we have there is for contrast. A on the list is for alignment. R on the list is repetition. P on the list is proximity. People who have visited or checked out our section on the first class that we did, more like an introduction, on that class where we explain the concept of contrast, alignment, repetition, and then proximity. These principles of designs guide everything we come up with in terms of design. And then we spoke about the different type of graphics design and how they serve unique purposes. You know, that design is being used for different aspects of life. And then basically how the different industry make use of graphics to... Excuse me, I noticed that on our WhatsApp group, people are still joining the call. Okay, I'll just keep them muted. All right, so people that are on WhatsApp group, you need to come down to Telegram because we are currently on Telegram having the section together. So if you are on WhatsApp, you are wrong. You are supposed to be on Telegram. You can only hear me on WhatsApp. And I just want to inform you, that's why I kept the WhatsApp call on. So please go back to Telegram. That's where the big gist is happening. All right. Again, this is basically a recap of our learning outcome, what we did on that section. And I want to show off somebody. I'll go to my Telegram. I'll go to the group. I'll go to general discussion. One of the projects that we're given under the project cloud, we mentioned that we're given an assignment, a practice, right? On that practice file, let me show you what was given to everyone. Announcement. Under announcement, we gave a task. We gave a task to everybody after the class that they should try to work on a design. And I just got only one response. And again, maybe when people do my assignment, that's when I get familiar with them. Oiza did ask, and the task was just for each and every participant on the call. Every student should please go ahead to Canva from the introductory class. We have shown how to use the template. Use the template to explain, take us on a journey on how you got started with design. Use your own words, basically make it original. And this is what I have for Oiza. Oiza tried to the best of our capacity and capability to use the CARP principle, the contrast, the alignment, the repetition, and then proximity. And then this is what she came up with. I got started with design, and this is the slide explaining our journey. Swipe left. I believe you guys must have been familiar with this kind of design. It is being used on what's it called? Instagram a lot. People that are joining WhatsApp group, please go to Telegram. You guys are on the wrong platform. Go to Telegram. That is where we are having our section. The reason why I opened this call is just to inform you guys. Go to Telegram. That is where things are happening. All right. So because you cannot see my screen here, go to Telegram. That is where the calls are happening. All right. So she explained her journey and basically how she got started with design. All right. My concern about the design is that maybe you guys wouldn't want to submit your assignment again after now. But it's just how it goes. We get scrutinized the design in a very good way, in a very calm, gentle way. You can see that the alignment is very poor here. The alignment and our design is very, very poor here. So again, alignment is one of the factors that we use in our design. And I don't know why you kind of maintain the alignment in this design. Can you see that? Straight down here is making sense. But on this other side, I think you messed it up. And then that's just you need to maintain consistency in terms of what alignment. As simple as alignment can mess your design up. So I felt like, oh, she used everything, and I think she created something so simple, and yet we still have some corrections to make. Again, if you don't make your first one, like I said, you won't make your next one. You make the, the journey of 1,000 miles start from what? One step. The person that's going to create their 11th design would have to create one first, right? And then they go to the second one, and then to the third, like that, like that, like that. People who are on WhatsApp, go to Telegram. The only thing you can do on WhatsApp is just hear my voice, and it's not so attractive if you ask me. Go to Telegram. I have my screen shared on Telegram. We have our section going on. Go to Telegram. If you are here, you are wrong. All right. So, are we together? Can you guys see my screen, please? Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, on this course, we are going to be talking about 3 design software. Canva, which is online. We started with that already. Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. Again, you cannot use up your creativity. If you feel like, maybe I'm saving the best for the last, you're a liar, right? You cannot use up your creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And what does that mean? Whenever you repeat a particular step, whenever you create design, the first one can be awful. And the next one after that is quite better. The next one after that again is quite better. You understand? You get to improve as you practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's the word. So please, creativity doesn't get used up. The more you use it, the more you have it. So the more you create, the more you want. The more you have the skill to proceed. Again, practice, practice, like I mentioned. Okay, let's dive into today's section. Today's section is typography and color theory. We had a discussion yesterday. We spoke about different design elements. We spoke about lines. We can give you another design element that we spoke about yesterday. Line. We spoke about line. We spoke about shapes. We spoke about what again? We spoke about color. We spoke about different design elements. We can give you other ones as well.
Texture, space.
Thank you very much. Texture, space. Thank you so much. We have the white space. We have the negative space and positive space. Those 3 spaces, yeah. What other one did we talk about yesterday? What other design element did we talk about yesterday? Typography, text, right?
Yes, text.
Yes, text, typography, yeah. So again, we have, like I said, today's section is going to be more of like a recap. Precious and Solomon, you guys need to be on our Telegram. You guys need to leave the WhatsApp call. Go to Telegram. That is where our section is happening. I have my screen being shared now. So go to Telegram. That is where we have our call today. All right. So now I'm going to be proceeding to, I want you guys to just look at these 3 designs that I have here. And like I said, you guys need to start, if you don't have it already, start you need to look at design critically. Look at what is working for you. Look at what is not working for you. If you feel like something is very nice, well placed, try to look at what is working in a design. So you basically start to develop an eye for design. When you see a good design, looking at this 3 design, you can see that, look at the font of the save the date for the first one that we have on the list. Look at the font. Apart from that, look at the rose flower that was placed. One is at the top and one is at the middle part of the design. One was blurred out, showing a sense of like a depth, right? Like on emotion, right? That's the rose flower up top there. And then we can see a picture frame at the back end. It could have been visible, but it was also blurred out in a way, right? Again, look at that design, look at how simple it is. And then let's go to the third one, the middle one rather. The middle one also works in the same way. Look at the way the name of the couples are being spelled out. And look at the type, look at the font that was used, right? Again, look at the third one on the list. Look at the third one on the list. Basically, the text you use, the color you use, the imagery you use, the kind of design theme that you use, basically, it's dependent on what the design is meant to be used for, right? Not just that, let's go to this other design. On this other design, look at what is working for you on this children design. Look at the kind of colors that was used on this design compared to what we have earlier for the wedding program. So look at the kind of color scheme that we have earlier, right? Look at the chosen generation. Look at the font that was used. Look at how everything was being put together. It's being put together rather. Look at the color scheme for the first one on the middle slide. Look at the same. Look at the playfulness of that font type that was being used, and then look at how the whole thing was put together in the design. Look at the background. Look at the brightness of the color in the background. Look at the design thing, right? The next thing that we have there is the third one on this list. The third design on the list. You can see that the Sunday Kings powerful series. Look at the playfulness in that design. Look at where we have the cartoons, the imagery that we have there. Look at the box, the edges of that design. You can see that there are rough edges, playfulness in that design. Because of what? The target audience we are trying to communicate with. Who are we trying to appeal to? When their children, when their parents sees this design, no, oh, this is for Jide. This is for Jide. No, this is for Chris. Chris can join this kind of class. Because of what? She knows the kind of audience that they're trying to attract here are, you understand, those set of children. Again, not just that, look at this design now. Look at, this is sport. And this is sports design. And you can see from the first slide where we have the football match, to the second one where we have you like an ad for a brand. And this is like Adidas, I think. And then you can see your only limit is you, right? That right up, the person there and the fonts. Look at the fonts and then look at the third one on the list. Look at the angle. Whenever you're talking about sports, you want to show motion. Look at the angle of the game starts. And then they are showing like the energy. You always want to show energy in whatever design that requires energy. Right? Look at those designs and you will notice something. The font color, the font type, the color choices, right? The total theme of the design is directly targeted, directly designed to appeal to the audience that is going to be reading or using these materials, right? From the first one to the second designs that I showed, and then to this one that we have here. All those designs, they have a theme. And in that theme, you have an audience you are trying to appeal to, right? Again, what is typography? What is typography? Typography is the art of arranging type. It is the act of what? Arranging type to make written languages legible. One of the factors is what? Legible. It has to be what? Readable, regardless of whatever font you are using. You might decide to use a very calling font, design font, as long as people cannot read it and know that this is what you are trying to say. You are failed as a designer. Are we together? Because most people, whenever I'm going to give you access to some libraries today now, they'll see some fine font and they'll just be like, oh, this is what I want to use. Meanwhile, that font is not useful. It's not giving the kind of message you are trying to, it's not working in synergy, right? In alignment with the kind of message you are trying to pass across. Again, what I have here, like, what is typography? I could have put a fancy font there and you will not be able to read it. Be asking what letter is this? Maybe you need to ask me that question in design. They are not. Then what we have here is not useful, right? It has to be what? Legible. It has to be what? Readable. And then also what? Visually appealing. What those people are looking for using those kind of funny fonts is just what they look at. What? This is fancy. This is fancy. It's just visually appealing part that they are concerned with. Legible and readable is not their concern. And that is not a good quality of a good designer, right? So good design enhance communication, improve user experience in the design. Either you are designing for a website, for a brand, or you are advertising a ad on a social media platform or the likes, and then or you are creating an editorial design. These are to fulfill the purpose of what? Legibility, readability, and then also what? Visually what? Appealing. And there are type of font I mentioned those yesterday. On the design brochure that I showed you yesterday, we have like 4 or 9 of them. But they are all under a particular font. The first one is what? Serif font. Serif font are traditional. They are the sharp edge. No playfulness around serif fonts. They don't have all these edges, fancy edges around them. So we have, serif font are the one with the edges rather. Sorry. Serif fonts are the one with the edges, are the one with the fancy edges. They have the slab. You can come with serif slab or the normal serif. They have the additional edges around them. And then I have another one known as what? The sans serif, which means without serif. These fonts generally look modern. They look clean. And an example of them is Avatica and was Montserrat. Monserrat. Someone said I'm calling her name now. Okay, and then I have script fonts. Script fonts are the elegant, decorative font that we have used on that wedding design that I showed you earlier. All these fonts, script fonts are more elegant, they are more decorative. They are showing the sense of what design, and then they kind of show like a fancy design, basically. Fancy design, they can be brushed, or they are like pen fonts. And then the other one is what? Display font. Display font is under the same serif font, sans serif font. They are always seen as bold. They have a very I'll show you. I'm going to be showing you a visual example of those very soon. They have a very attractive visual presence, right? Whenever they are on the design, you always notice them. They're always big, all up in your face, right? So those fonts are there. Now, there is something about fonts. When I started design, I quickly fell in love with fonts, so I understood how to move around when it comes to fonts. The only thing I struggle with, like I said earlier, is color. Now, to use fonts, there is a way you combine font and the way you pair font and decide to use them in design. And again, whatever you are trying to create, whatever design you are trying to create, again, whatever audience you are trying to appeal to, whatever the purpose of design is, that will usher the design, the font type, you understand, and then the kind of font you are going to be using alongside. Font pairing is basically whenever you want to create, for example, a normal document on the Microsoft Word, you have a title. You have a title, which is also known as what? The headline. We have a subheading, something known as like there's a subheading, like a medium, what's it called? Basically, subheading. I don't know how to explain the subheading apart from that. So we have a header. After the header, if people who are into web development, they will know that we have the highest number the highest header size you can have in web development is H1, while the lowest one is the H6, right? So we have header sizes, and then after the header, we have something known as what? Subheaders. We are all familiar with this in our textbooks and the stuff and the like that have been interacting with over the years. We have the subheaders, and then we have something known as what? The body text. Body text are what I used to explain. I'll show you an example of that on my next slide here. Let me talk about font pairing a little bit more. On my Canva here, I'll go to something I found for. I'll be sharing this link on our group after now. This link to this website. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see where I'm currently at now? I've left the presentation slide. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, cool. So now, how do you combine fonts? Again, I've explained this earlier yesterday. We have the baseline that this is where all the type are organized. But again, I don't want to just keep talking about what these things are. I want to show you. Now, in design publication, I'm trying to use, there are different type of fonts you can download online. I'm going to show you some online resources that you can download fonts from. And it's not just enough for you to download fine fonts, but how do you even use them? Now look at an example. This is a font. This is a font name. This is another font name. And then we're also using that same font on a smaller size. You can see the font sizes on the left. What kind of design can we use this kind of combination for? Look at this design here. Can you see that open plan life, and then we have a sub-header there before we now have the body copy to describe, right? This is from the combination of what? Links pattern and then Libra, right? These fonts are being combined to form a design. These are design choices that we decide to use in our design. Look at this other one as well. This is also an example of that combination, right? Font types, these are other fonts here, Julius Sans one. And then another one is here is what this narrow design for Archivo. And then we have Source Sans Pro. All these fonts are online. I'm going to be showing you the access. I'm going to be giving you access to some fonts in the background, so you can also go there. Please, where is the class holding? Somebody is asking where is the class holding. Is the person not seeing the call on Telegram? Is it difficult to locate here? Okay, look at the example that we generated from this, like a portfolio design using that font combination, right? Again, we have Archivo Black and then Archivo Narrow. Those two are combined to form this kind of design. Again, we have a header, the concept of header, the subheading, and then having a body copy is what helps us to create a fantastic text combination. How do we do that? For people who might be struggling, why can't you guys hear me? Is it general or is just this person that is not hearing me? Hello, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
I can hear you from here, sir.
All right.
I can hear you, sir.
All right. So we have this text combination. I didn't see it. It's God's going to help this woman solve her call. There's a link that she can click on. Immediately join the Telegram. It's very easy now to locate here. So this is the topic here. And then after that, we have the discussion, another combination here. I'm going to show you this thing again to show you how you can combine all this discussion. Look at this example, for example. I like this font a lot, and I've used it like 1,000 times in my design. This font, and then I have this one as well, and then this is exactly how it looks. Look at how bold it is. And this is the example of the font that I told you earlier in my presentation. Go back to this guy that I was saying, bold display. You can see the name here. Bold display. Bibas, a very, very nice font. I like that font, like a lot. So look at how nice the font is coming out. Again, it's not about having a pool of fonts. It's about that because again, you need to your fonts is going to increase over the years as you work more, right? Fonts are going to be decided, and then apart from fonts, we also have using all these design fonts and colors being combined together to give us the kind of design that we are looking for. Open Sans Extra is also another nice font. Look at the combination here. Look at this design here. Also Open Sans font that we have on the list. Able to condense bold. And look at the design that we used to, that was used to create. That we used that font to create. The copper everywhere. We have this design also, and basically fonts. Fonts are very important, and the way you decide to use your fonts. Can you see? You want playful display black. Look at the font. Depending on the kind of message you are trying to pull out there, then the fonts is going to also follow suit. Look at what we are trying to create. And I can go on and on and on. You can see that we have a lot to go on here. But I'm going to go to the first resource that I mentioned. Online resource. I'm going to be dropping this file to you. Sharing a file that has all these things to you, so you don't have to worry. One of the places that I can use like a guide on how to combine fonts is something known as monotype. On monotype, all you have to do is what? Go to monotype. When you get to monotype, you can generate. When you swipe, you can swipe a font and then you can generate. Can you see generate one font pair? When you generate font pair, when you click on generate, to generate new ideas of font for you. It comes also with what? Headers and the body copy. You can see that. And the name of each font is being added on top. Can you see the first one here? That's us. And then we have another one called PT Sans Pro. These are the fonts. You can swipe them to see, okay, let me use this as header instead and use this as body copy. You can see how they look. Right? You can also resize, do some visual design in the process. Reduce the fonts, do all these different things just to see how it looks in your design. Again, you can click on generate more fonts. It's going to generate different fonts for you with different name. All you have to pay close attention to is this. If you decide to download any of them, click on the name or select the name, copy, go to your Google search and just type in the name and be like, download. Can you see? Immediately put on your search and click on what? Font free download, and then you can download anywhere on the list. I'm going to give you a very open, I'm going to give you an open source where I get most of my fonts from. So I'm going to give you a platform that does that very easily. Okay. Another platform that can help you or guide you or give you an insight into how you can combine fonts is this, my big friend here, fontjoy.com. On this platform, you can decide. In fact, on this one, you can change the text. You can be like, okay, what am I trying to do today? Okay, people of design templates. Right, this is what I'm trying to do. If I'm not really convenient to the font, I can be like unlock. Let me unlock everything. So I be like generate other ideas of design for me. So it can generate, oh, this is not so nice. You can basically generate different ideas. And if I'm not really satisfied with what is the option that are coming up, I can go to this filter icon for the header. And if I'm currently on the header, you're talking about people of design. There is a sign for it here. I can click on the header. What am I trying to do? I can go to the what? This filter icon and make something very bold and on the list. You don't see that you have like if you don't have a font name on it, but when you place your mouse on any of the fonts, it shows a name. But I'll just click on one. I need a bold font there. Basically, that's what I know. And then I can see that this font is not so good as I want it to be. So I'll go for something else, maybe something like this. Oh, this is even worse. So I'll go ahead to use something, let's use this block letter. People of design. And if I feel like this is the font I'm trying to get, even though I don't think that is the kind of font I'm looking for, let me look for something else. And I think, let me use, I just need something bold that will be all over your faces. All right, something like this. Let's say this is the design that I want. I've been selected that. You can see the name of the font here, Passion 1. If I'm satisfied with this, I'll click on what lock icon. When I lock it, and I can go ahead to what generate other text with it. When I click on generate, you can see that my Passion 1 is locked. It's not changing that. The other ones are changing. Immediately I click on generate. Now I have a bar up top here. You can see that very similar. If I drag bars, you can see that I'm looking for what? More similarity. Or I can go back and be like, what? I need more contrast, something entirely different, right? Or I can go to the back and go high contrast, something completely different from what you have given me before. Maybe I drag those line bar and click on what? Generate again, and it can generate other ideas. You can see that it's giving me something entirely different here. I can also take it to the back again to show that high contrast, and I can generate more, right? Just if I feel like, oh, this font is nice, you can see that this font is looking nice. Maybe see that it is like a what subheading. I can also lock this up, Layla, right? You can see the font Layla. And then the last one on the list is what Cairo, or is it Gyro? I'll click on that. I want to change that again. I'll click on generate. Layla and Passion 1 are going to stay put because I've locked them down. The other one that is changing now is what Matcha Sans, right? I can go ahead to what generate more if I don't want that font as a body copy. I need something. You can also go ahead to this filter to select whatever you are looking for. If you are looking for script font for the body copy, just look for anything that looks script here and then select. It's going to give you your script design if that's what you need for body copy. If I need a better script that is more legible, maybe I will use let me look for another font that looks legible, more legible compared to what we had before. All right, let me use this guy. And then it's not so visible, but it's not so visible as you would want it, but it is readable currently because of the size, but it is readable because I can read some things here, right? Let's say this is the telephone that I'm interested in. If I want to download from here, all I have to do again, like I showed you earlier, you can select the font name, go to your Google search and browse it out. Or this platform makes it even easier, makes it even easier. If you click on the Passion 1, for example, to go to the link website that you can find out font. You can see Passion 1 here. I'll just click on what get font. It will ask me, do you want to download? I'll click on what download all 5. I can click on download all 5. It will download the font. Then I can go ahead to what close it again. Go back to my design. Apart from that, I want to download Layla. I'll just click on Layla again. When I click on Layla, it opens the platform to download Layla from. I'll click on what get font. And to show me you have 6 to download, I can click on what download again, and it's also what download. I can close that up again and go to the third one on the list, which is what dawning of a new day. That's the name of the font. That's funny. I'll click on that, and then you can see that this is font here. I'll click on what get font. Again, it's not all the font that you see on that platform that might be free, as you are seeing it here. Some you might not be able to download them because we have like on Coursera, like on Canva, like I showed you, you can buy a font or you can use a free font. Free fonts are limited. You can just use them as much as they have given. You understand? Some fonts you cannot use them on publication design, especially for a company that you are trying to design a brand identity for. If you are using some fonts that are paid, that means you are telling the company to go and buy that font. You understand? And if you know that it's a company that wouldn't even welcome that kind of idea, you should have to look for something that is free. And again, there are free resources in terms of fonts or any material for design out there. It's only people who actually want something unique for their brand that they go that extra mile for to buy a font for them. You understand? And they know that this font is their business font. Again, this is the platform. I'll be sharing the document that shows that has the that was going to be inside that document. You're going to have all these links. They are readily accessible to you.